Situation Room. The only way to start your day. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM,
after
Nairobi.
8 o'clock and into the third hour of Kenya's biggest conversation this Friday. Getting into the weekend, we're looking into our youth perspective parts of this week. We're going to get into that in just a bit. But before we do, 9 after 8, our live streams are up. YouTube, Facebook, X, our audience on KTN. For everybody who's tuned in on radio and on TV across the nation, the region, and indeed the world, Karibu, this is the Situation Room. Today, it's Ndu and Josephat Kamanya with you today, and we're looking and co-hosting this together and looking into very important conversations. He's into hour 2 and he's hour 3 now, and he's still breathing. So let's see how we do by the end of it. This morning. Even at this point, I've got to ask you, if you have 2,999 shillings today, there's no better thing that you can do with it right now than to get yourself the 5G router with Safaricom. We're talking about ease of then being able to connect. We're saying that you can go with it wherever you need to. You insert your SIM card, you hook it up to all your devices, and you're ready to go. It's Wi-Fi on the go, and the ease of then being able to do what you need to do with this router is what you need to be interested in. I know Mahmoud is in Mombasa today. He's in London tomorrow. He's in another part of the world. And then people with innovation like Gedda are always up and all over the place. This router, you will never have to be disconnected because you move. You take Wi-Fi with you wherever you go. 2,999 bob.
By the I use it.
Oh, bas.
Nice.
You see?
Interesting.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And for that amount, and that you then are connected wherever you go, you don't even have to worry.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a greater endorsement in this hour than to then be able to go with that. So do that today at any masoko.com. Get it at your Quickmart, I beg your pardon. Get it at your Safaricom retail shops. The ease of doing business, the ease of entertainment, the ease of life with your Safaricom router just got up a notch higher. So let's think about that and do it this morning. So those are the voices that you heard, and we're getting into our youth perspective conversation this hour. And I then at this point say welcome to Mahmoud and Gedda this morning. And you're asking who they are. Well, Mahmoud Noor is the Chief Mentor at Swahili Pot Hub Foundation. It's based out of Mombasa County.
Yes.
And Gedda Abdallah is the founder of Girl iSafe.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To you both.
Yeah, good morning.
Mahmoud is no stranger to this show.
Yes.
And knows some of the things that we talk about and the innovations that we speak about. And but when you came in this morning, you said the people that inspire me are these young people in Jizia.
Yes.
And forming part of a conversation that we have on Fridays, and it fits in beautifully to what we'll be talking about today. But before we get into all of that, as you know, we're going to share a proverb with you.
Yes.
We've been in Senegal this week. We would like to get your interpretation of this proverb.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Only a true friend knows your real worth. Only a true friend knows your real worth. We can start with you, Gedda.
I think that's okay. That's an upper view of how we can see the proverb. But basically, someone who you've grown with or you've interacted with full time actually understands better on your challenges and the things that you go through. So basically, it's the person that is close to you that would be able to know, okay, this person has gone through all these stuff. So the what other people can see, because they don't know the challenges or the struggles you go through. A friend that you always share this with is someone who will understand, okay, for her to get to this level, she's gone through all this. So the what to her is not just about you being a friend, but also associating with what you've gone through to be able to get maybe where you want to be. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think when something is worthy of, or it's something that you can see is good, it's not that people do not see it, they actually see it, but some will want to discredit it. Some will want to pretend they're not seeing it. But a genuine person, somebody who really feels it from the heart, will appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Somebody who feels it from the heart. It's great how our minds work as humans, and then we're able to then look into some of these. So, Karibu to you both.
Yes.
We've had conversations around, youth engagement, engagement of young people in the country when it comes to development, when it comes to politics, when it comes to governance and all of these things. What has taken center stage over the last year or so has been youth involvement in politics.
Yes.
And, are we going to form a political party? Are we going to put somebody up for election who is of a younger demographic, And then we forget the things that are happening that keep the ball rolling. And you are involved in quite a number of things, just remembering the stories of Swahili Port and how it started. And then now we are going to a place whereby, we talk about governance and economic empowerment and building and the role that innovation plays in that. And that's front and center. And so that forms the basis of our conversation this morning. So how have things moved? How has that needle moved since the last time we spoke?
I think there are two things here. There is what we see out there and the real things that I was telling both of you in the morning. That one reason that I spend a lot of all my time with young people is they inspire me. There are so many good stories happening, but they're never featured. Yesterday I was looking at, in fact I was discussing with somebody at 6 a.m. So I was looking at what is trending in the country. In fact, when you just look from the first trend even to the 23rd, it's despicable. You say if this is the country that we are in, then there's a big problem. It's just politics. It is things that are retrogressive, and then the real things that are happening, you'll only find one or two, and I think that's why I'm saying we have a lot of young people that are doing genuine, that are doing great things. The reason today I was accompanied by Raida is I'm using an example of Mombasa. We have young girls that we feel or think are marginalized. But if you hear their stories, what they are doing in entrepreneurship, in innovation, in technology, in transforming society, in bringing solutions that are solving societal problems, but they're never featured. You'll never see them in the headlines. You look at the headlines, I'm just looking here, you'll see, when you look at this, when you feel, is this really Kenya? If you are supposed to be born, for example, if I was to look at headlines and then I decide which country I will be born, the fetus will say, I'm not coming to Kenya.
In your view, you feel that as a society, as a society, as a nation, as a people, we are not really paying enough attention to other very crucial elements of development in our people. And they don't get highlighted enough. Which then would ask, how easy is it for you to really get your space and rally a team behind you to move and over in that space?
I think there's a saying that young people and they love using nowadays. They say if they don't give you a seat on the table, you create that table. So one of the things that we are doing in Mombasa is, and I see a lot of them, they come together and they start doing whatever positive things that they're doing. And I want to relate it to the governance issue because it's also important and it's also critical. Because all these things that we're talking about, as long as we do not have the right leadership, especially in the political front, because it is politics that shapes our lives. So the issue is, how do you organize such young people that are genuinely involved in society, either within the fields of technology, issues of governance? Eventually they have to organize themselves, or they need to find avenues, either within at times they will say we don't want to be in political parties, but those are the only ways that they can do. If they cannot have their own political party, they have to go within the same political parties and change these political parties from within. So I think it's all about organization, because for us to now shift everything, young people must be at the center of leadership in the country. And as long as they are on the sidelines, what I'm saying, they will always be on the 17th page. But if they decide to join and change things from within, whether, for example, if I was in the US, you join the Republicans and the Democrats and you bring the changes in there. If you are in Kenya, you join ODM, UDA, the other one that came from Central, I don't remember the name. So they have to do that. Alternatively, if they have the resources, they can also organize themselves.
Okay, so obviously there is, there's work that you're involved in that essentially speaks to this very thing that Mahmoud is talking about.
Yeah.
What is iSave?
So it's a startup, a social enterprise that empowers young girls through STEM and innovation. And we're building a platform to connect young girls to STEM mentors and educators online. So this was driven by passion, because growing up in community that did not support, a lot of girl child education and girl child involvement, just because of, how the society portrays and how the community tends to give that priority to girls. So I decided to change that, and building that made me move beyond my comfort zone. It made me want to move, to express what I'm doing, to be able to involve other young girls, to bring the change that I wanted to see. Because sometimes when we young people want to involve ourselves and we're not doing it in the most productive way, then we end up, getting into the wrong field or the wrong hand. But for me, my passion in community work and integrating it with my education, that is information technology, is building community-oriented solutions that are tailored for the community. So I feel like it's very important for young people to understand that sometimes it's not just about, doing something, but what is the productivity about it? How are you influencing the younger generation that is looking up to you? As much as you're young, but if you have the opportunity to influence positively, then you're making an impact in the society. So I think that's where I drew my inspiration.
Interesting. That's good to be the hummingbird, like you be a part.
Yes.
And that's interesting. Now, looking at it, as you say, the area where you're coming from and the space you're trying to occupy, there's also the cultural conflict.
Of course.
You see?
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
I wouldn't say it was an easy journey. Even starting back in primary and high school, I think this is something I grew up with as a leader in school, as school president, school head girl. It's something that I could see a different vision for myself and for the other young girls. And the community is never open to, taking up such kind of positions. But again, sometimes I always tell myself, if you don't take the initiative, then who is going to do that? So as much as I faced a lot of challenges, both in the community and even in a personal level, but it's always that niche that, I want something different. And if I don't go for it, then perhaps, I'll end up in the same situation like the rest. So it's just about standing up and showing up for what you're doing. And people will never believe in you at the start. That's something that's very open and very genuine. But if you show people that there's a reason for them to believe in what you do and the impact that it can do, having mentors, people that will always, guide you, close to even maybe away from family, but people that will believe in your vision even before before other people believe in you. And I would say like having mentors like Mr. Mahmoud and other people that believe in me at a young age, Young Scientist Kenya, where I won and stuff, and then moving from just I would say local to national to international level. I've gone to China, I've gone to the US, I've been able to represent on international platform. So it's like building a belief as you go along your journey, and you realize now parents will call me, Raid, I want to bring my daughter, how can you advise her on the STEM and the career she wants to do? She wants to do STEM, how do you involve her? She wants to do this. So, it's not easy at a start because everybody will ask themselves, what is she doing? I got that a lot. But then if it was something that was not driven by passion and motivation, perhaps I would have said, you know what, let me focus on my own stuff. But again, it's wanting to see other young girls benefit from it and changing the perspective that girls can also represent both in STEM field, in innovation, and even in international platforms.
So what are some of the programs that they get into and what do they do? And I'm going to link this to obviously where like Swahili Pot and the youth who have now a level of engagement, just coming off of the genesis of where youth had got into a spot where life was, pretty useless. That's the truth.
Yes.
And that there was a lot of drug involvement and there was a lot of attention on things that at the end of the day didn't matter. So what activities do they get involved in that takes away from where they were from before?
I think there is a notion before, there's this aspect of we young generation see things differently. So sometimes, maybe years back when you would say, I'm going to a hub, someone would ask you, what are you going to do there? What's the benefit and stuff? But this time and this era, it's very important to let them express themselves in what they can be able to do best. Like, for example, in Girls SF, we do STEM-oriented programs that we introduce STEM and innovation concept ideation for the young girls after they complete high school. In Swahili Pot Hub, you find that there's creative arts, there's technology that is also done there, there's innovation, there's music competition. So all these things help them express their interest based on what they can do better. You don't just have to become, let's say, for example, a doctor. As much as it's good to become a doctor, I always advocate for STEM and innovation. But again, it's also about interest. So you find that these young people, when you push them or you push them to the wall, you have to do this, it ends up, making them feel like, I'm doing it because I just have to do it. But if you give them the avenues and the programs, trainings that are oriented with their interest, I think that it's going a long way in making more young people come out, especially with even Swahili Pot Hub. You realize that in a day you find so many young people, expressing going there because they know there's a program. If I'm not in sciences, there's a program that I can do, let's say in a podcast or in a media or in business entrepreneurship, and that's all. So it's always about finding their interest and tailoring that to something they can do very productive. Yeah.
Okay. So Mahmoud, when you look and you see that the conversation in the country, just from what you're saying, the conversation in the country is very politically oriented, and that the work that should be done in the minds of young people because we want to escape it, but the truth of the matter is that a certain level of experience is required. You have to have gone through a certain degree of fire to then be able to come out on the other side. So if the conversation right now is around politics, where does it leave for this grooming, for this learning and this understanding of programs that youth people should go into to bring them out on the other side? Where's the space for that today?
I think that the space is there. I think the problem is the priorities of Kenyans. When people are surviving, they don't think of anything else. I think the fundamental is how the economy is doing. When we have investment, when we have opportunities, when we have like I normally give an example when we were growing up. When we were growing up, majority of our parents had no issues of probably where they're staying, what they were eating. Probably if you look at us that time, you will think we were backward, but we had the basics. So when you have the basics, then now you have, your mind can think of other choices and options. But at the moment, not only the parent is hardly making it, surviving, you'll find young kids at 8 going out to look for the next meal. So when that is the situation, then it's very difficult. It's even easy for manipulation to come in. So I think the fundamental for me is, can we find ways to grow the economy? Because when you grow the economy, in fact, you'll find even a lot of people will not even be interested in politics.
Right.
Yeah, but at the moment, I think the only thing that pays is politics. Yesterday, somebody called me, I think somebody from the media. Since I can't disclose his name, I think it's okay. But he was telling me, I've seen an opportunity. I want to be a senator of Mombasa. Please, and I know I need to talk to you. So it's like the only thing that is paying now, the job that is paying very well is being an MP. You'll get a couple of million shillings. So I think for me is, at the end of the day, we still have leadership that will direct to grow the economy, grow the private sector. I think we will be safe and better if the private sector becomes bigger and bigger, so that even people ignore politicians and politics, because it's no longer, it will never be lucrative. But at the moment, as the more we kill, the private sector goes down, then the only option is now this mobilization and the politics. I move around in Mombasa, and everywhere you go, people are calling you for fundraising, people are calling you for pesa ya mogoka, people are calling you for rent, people are calling you for all this. Ukitembea hata saa zingine huwezi kutembea kwa amani. Kwa sababu there's a lot of people are so desperate, and others are genuinely there are people that will never have called you and told you, by the way, I have my son in the university and I don't know what to do. And these are people who are working and they were doing very well. So I think for me is we first need to fix the economy. Once we fix the economy, once we educate, we fix the education system, for example, so that we have quality education. And maybe before I might speak a lot, but I remember, Abosha.
Yeah.
Abosha, one of the Mandela Washington fellows.
Yeah.
So she was in South Africa for a university program. In fact, when she called me, she told me in the universities that I was public, we were not studying. Because she's comparing the quality and the time, the way they are doing in South Africa and what they were doing here. It's a big joke.
Yes.
So how do we build a country if we cannot fix the public education?
Yeah. Indeed, it's a world of a difference when you go to our international centers of learning and then compare that with what we have, which for me begs the question, like, if now we are not able to provide, as you say, sufficient quality basic education, that would just ground somebody for a takeoff in whatever career they may want to, then if you're not able to do that, how much room then are we even creating for them to explore other areas of innovation, creativity? Because our curriculum is somehow structured for the mainstream careers, become a doctor, become a teacher. But then innovation and creativity is a modern thing. I'm glad now we have the social spaces where we can easily learn a few things. But I think I do agree when you say that the education system is disadvantaging us when you're not able to set people on a path where they can now become another Haida, another Mahmoud, and create impact in the society. So as you struggle to balance the realities of our nation, of our Kenya, you also have a vision.
Yes.
You're driven to impact and have some change. How do you draw partnership from the community? Because I hear what you're saying is a community-driven initiative, much as you own it. So how do you draw that kind of support?
And I think that's why these spaces come in.
Right.
Because, you feel a gap when something fails. If the public system fails, then gaps come. There are gaps that we come in. Now you see spaces like Swahili Port Hub Foundation, what Raida is doing. And I'm happy she had set up a center at the heart of Kibokoni, where people think it is a drug den, all that.
It has a reputation.
Brave.
So there's a center there. They have computers, the same as Swahili Port Hub. We have high-speed internet. I think that is the savior. That is the equalizer. Because if my lecturer is not helping me, I can go online and get the best lecturer in the world. I've not understood calculus because the lecturer is never there. I'll go look for calculus and I'll be trained by the best teacher in the world, probably. For example, Coursera, MIT, they put all their courses online. So I think if there's something that we can support our younger generation with, is building these spaces where they have affordable, if they can't have, by the way, they can't afford these computers and goods. So first, government needs to reduce taxes on these things. And if that does not happen, can we create community spaces where a young person, even as young as 5 years, can go somewhere, access fast internet, computer, and guided under some guidance, because there she will learn universal subjects, she will learn mathematics, she will learn sciences, she will do everything. So and you'll get the same quality as a young person who is in New York. So before we fix that public system, I think we need to work on community spaces. And these community spaces, we also need to have volunteers. And that's why for me, Mombasa, I love Mombasa because we have hundreds of young people who want to volunteer and mentor the others. And by the way, a lot of them are not coming from rich families. A lot of them are struggling. But they have that motivation, the heart of giving. So somebody is giving while he also needs to be given.
To be given.
Now I'm looking at Haida,
Yeah.
and you mentioned something very important, Mahmoud, as well, about accessibility to internet. Just a basic, it is nowadays is a basic need.
Yes.
And there is a conversation from the government about having installation of like internet hubs in each and every town. Or
Yes.
Are you plugged into that conversation? Because you sounds like you should be the one driving that.
First of all, I will add on the aspect of education.
Right.
I always resonate with Nelson Mandela's quote when he mentioned like education can be the best powerful tool that you can use to change the world. That has worked for me. It's through the education that I got that I was able to, stand up and tell people this is what I want to do. These are my grades and I want to move forward and push. And when you talk about having accessibility to the internet, we young people believe that YouTube can also be a very powerful learning tool. Unasikianga watu wakisema the University of YouTube. Because it's made learning more easier and more like realistic if you don't understand in class and stuff. So I've always seen hubs. I always hear that there is going to be 365 hubs across different counties and countries. According to me, I think in Ndanga it just stops somewhere, and we as young people down here who are waiting to get these and to be able to get connected to the government and maybe to get some of this equipment, because I know the government has the resources, it has the mandate to be able to do this. But sometimes if you don't get now the right people to channel these things down to us, then it becomes hard for us to access them. We run our center as a hub near the Old Town area, and it's not supported by the government or anything. This is a personal initiative trying to get people to connect with and grants and stuff. I won the presidential award this year.
Well done.
And thank you. I was representing Mombasa County. That was part of something that helped me be able also to set up my office and also to set up the platform. But again, that is me going out and pitch and compete and win. But what about the other young people in other counties, like let's say in Turkana, in Samburu? So I think it's high time that we're able to channel down these resources to be able to make it equal to someone who is in a town area and someone who is in a marginalized community. Because if we have the accessibility and we have the tools, then I believe the equality comes in, because education is the same, and if we're getting the same information on the internet, then it makes it equal for both young people in Nakuru, let's say, and in Turkana to be able to ideate and innovate at the same level,
on the same page.
Yes.
Maybe if you can allow me to add something.
Yes.
Because also unaambiwa mgala muwe na haki yake mpe. Government has tried, especially the Department of ICT. I think the problem is the channels they are using, because they are allocating money through the members of parliament. So the members of parliament who do not understand the concept of a hub, that is where the problem is. The ones that have understood it, and I want to use, for example, the MP of Mvita. He started a space at Ronald Ngala, supported by the same ministry. In fact, now they have 50 computers. They're bringing 50 more computers through Konza City, and they have the Jitume Lab. In fact, at the moment, they've done almost 1,000 young people that they're training. Currently, there's a cohort of 200. But it's because the MP came to Swahili Port and saw the model. And then, in fact, he said, I want to replicate this same model to where I am. So the MPs have the funds, have been given the funds, but a majority of them have bought computers and taken to schools. Schools that are not accessible to young people. Even for the ministry, we told them, yes, you can take it to TVETs and universities, but you also need to consider community spaces like Swahili Port Hub. Because when you put it in a university, then even the young person around the university have no access to that university. You can't go to those classes. So I think it is first, before you allocate funds to a member of parliament, first take them through what exactly they're supposed to do. Yeah, once they understand that, I think we will be able to put resources at the right place.
Yeah.
Let's dive deeper into innovation when we come back, because it's clear that that's the way that you're going to save things. You fix the economy, and a lot of economies fixed through innovation. I don't think that there's a country on this planet that didn't develop economically without innovation and manufacturing. That's where it started. That's where it all goes. And things that we are seeing, even for the coastal areas, for the longest time, what did we hear? That people believe, it's underdeveloped. Pwani Sea, Kenya, questions that were being asked, and here we now see these innovations coming out of this same place. We'll go into that when we come back from this break. Mahmoud Noor is the chief mentor at Swahili Pot Hub Foundation and founder of Girl I Save. Haida Abdallah. We will come back and continue with this conversation right after this break, when I ask you at this point, just before we do that, to focus. You know what keeps a lot of people up at night? The idea that everything they've built could be lost, either through poor advice or market downturns. And that's why wealth preservation and risk management are key pillars at Standard Chartered Priority Banking. Their expert teams don't just guide you, they protect your assets from market fluctuations, economic shocks, and unexpected risks. Add to that their specialized investment advice and portfolio management, and you've got a recipe for building sustainable long-term wealth. And for those overwhelmed by endless options, from real estate to international investments, you get expert help to optimize decision making. It's not just about growing wealth, it's about growing wisely and with clarity. Your path to smart, protected, and informed wealth starts with one email: wealth.ke@sc.com. This is your time.
This is the Situation Room. This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy fresh chicken breast at 699 shillings per kg, red onions at 79 shillings per kg, Sunrise basmati rice 5 kg at 1,199 shillings, and Amco Kuka at 34,999 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
These three men disobeyed a decree from Nevo's favorite and insulted the great Marduk. May the sentence be carried out.
What makes a husband cheat on his wife like that?
Many think that it's normal. And they say they still love their wives regardless of that.
You don't think like that?
No.
Didn't we throw 3 tied men into the fire?
Yes, my king.
How come I'm seeing 4 free men who are strolling between the flames without any damage?
I don't accept that.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience. At KTN, we've got it all. Hold tight, because the adrenaline rush is real. Our action-packed films will have you gripping your seat. Craving suspense? Hungry for adventure? Or just looking for that perfect escape? Whatever your mood, KTN is your ultimate destination for a movie experience.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Loan makes sense. It's not just about emergencies, it's about grabbing opportunities before they disappear. Poof, it's simple. Like I said, go to the Loop app, go to the Grow tab, and tap Quick Loan. Apply, and the money hits your phone in minutes. No paperwork, no bank visits, no stress. You can get up to 100,000 shillings at a great interest rate of about 7%, and you repay within 30 days. It's completely transparent, and it's easy to access with fair interest rates, no hidden charges. And what I want you to do is get into the weekend with 5,000 bob. How are you going to do that? You're going to do what exactly I just said. Apply for the loan, get the answer, screenshot it, and send us a DM, Spice of MKE, on across social media platforms. Send us a DM. It could be you who gets a 5,000 bob to boost you into the weekend, as you remember that Loop is not just an app, it's a lifestyle. So download the Loop app today. Don't forget to take a screenshot of you making this application. Send it to us You could get a 5,000 shillings today. We'll let you know who that person is at the end of this. Haida Abdallah and Mahmoud Noor are our guests this hour. And as we get into conversations around innovation, I mean, it is clear.
Yeah.
The world round has shown us from the Industrial Revolution, that when you innovate and when you start to manufacture and when you make a surplus is when you can say a country is really developing.
True.
All this business about politics and whatever is great to keep the things moving. But that is when you really see. And the people who will harness that power and then guide and govern and provide leadership then around that are those that we now need to pay attention to. But in the colony of bees, where all these things are happening is where innovation is born and then harnessed. And like we said, give to parts of the country where we didn't imagine, or people didn't imagine that innovation would spark from there. Was that ever a handicap to you, Haida? When people said, okay, well, so you said in the middle of what people conceived to be a drug den, people have thrown away their lives, and then here you are, have the audacity to say that we can provide opportunities for young girls in STEM.
Yes, I think it's always about you being able to to have a vision first in what you want to do, despite the challenges. Because if we keep saying that this is a drug area zone and this is, a low developed area, and we don't take, the first step to just, start and initiate, I'm 100% sure that there would be no guide that will come after me. So sometimes I always look at it in terms of become the initiator, start it, make that development, and then let other people follow the same. Because through my program, the Girls ISF program, we had trained 30 girls, out of which 2 of them started their own startups and their own initiative. So, you're building to more guiders that are going to build different sectors. I might be focusing on innovation and STEM education, but again, someone else will be born and will be doing mental health. The other party will be doing infrastructure. So it's always about, creating that opportunity and giving and making like an avenue for other people to follow. So it's just opening up the path and becoming the person that you want to see, and for other people to also follow the same. So I think for me, it's just, creating the possibility actually that it is possible to do it, and other people will be doing that. When I was in the US for the Microsoft to Build competition, it's an international, like a global competition. And when I was speaking, people were asking me, do you come from Dubai? Or you come from United Emirates? I said, no, I come from Kenya and I come from Mombasa. So, it's always about representing what you want people to know about Mombasa. And it's always about doing the positive work that will make it recognized, Kenya as a country, and even the city I come from as a minor under the country. So it's creating the possibility of it.
Well, this is good, but also sad, because I would imagine there was no state reception for you when you're coming back home. Was there?
Yeah.
Did you receive one? There was none.
No.
You see, these are the heroes that we need to celebrate, because the impact you're creating from what you're saying, you're really challenging the system and trying to show that instead of, because the government says we need to have jobs, create jobs, employment. That's the crux of the whole, the economic crisis we are in as well.
Yes.
But from what you're saying is that you are able to initiate a concept and replicate it, has impact, innovation.
Yeah.
And people are able to even not only just self-employ themselves, but create opportunities
for other people. Exactly.
Now, compare that to the world you've been, to the places you've traveled to, and then you come back to Mombasa.
I think it's always the saddest moment for me. I'm not lying, because when I went to China, there was so much development in the technology space. I could see robots working in the university that we were having a conference, a tour. Cars being built in the same classroom students were studying. That was very fascinating for me. It made me realize that at one point, we as a country are trying as much as possible to move forward. But again, if we don't go with how the world is evolving, then we will be left behind. So there's always so much advancement in other countries that makes me feel like we need to do more. And for me, I think it's always the best motivating factor. Whenever I travel outside the country and then I come back, it makes me want to do more in a short period of time. You get to understand people work differently. People can build stuff that we think, it's an 80 or a 70-year person can do. But you find that in China, young students who are just in the secondary level are building robots in the school, are building cars. When I went to the US, it was another whole different level of scenario. The work environment, the people, there's a lot of development both in the way people work and even in the way we look at technology and innovation. So it is very important, I think, we as a country to be able to, run up and follow what other countries are also trying to do, not because we want to get to that level, but at least we are, in a good space where we can be able to showcase what we do. And the only way I think we can do that in the fast-moving world is through technology, embracing the digital space, working with digital tools, making things easier for us as a country and also for other people. For other people who come to visit us.
Right.
Yeah.
So here at Spice FM, we celebrate you.
Thank you.
Now, I'm just wondering, because innovation and creativity takes a lot of time and energy.
Of course.
And bearing in mind what Mahmoud said, nowadays the get-rich card is join politics.
Yeah.
Or the corruption, the budgeted corruption, we are still struggling with. So patience is a virtue, really.
It is.
In your area of practice.
Yes.
How are the fellow youth able to appreciate that this is a journey we are getting on?
Yeah.
It's a long-term plan.
Yes.
It may involve a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
But how do you instill these values of remaining grounded and focused and really patient enough to see the causes?
Yeah.
And
I think one cutting short I would say on that first is there's no shortcuts to success. There's no way you'd want to wake up early in the morning and become rich unless now you get involved in maybe the wrong things and you get the quick money tunasemanga. But again, I would say this through my journey. I started when I was in high school. I was in Form 4. I had my Form 4 exams to complete and I had to do my research, I had to do my prototype, I had to do everything for me to present during Young Scientist Kenya. And I remember I approached a friend and was like, you know what, can you just become my partner in this? And she was like, are you wasting your time? And I have to study for my exams. So back then when I was in school, I thought, why did she do this and stuff? But then right now I'm trying to understand that sometimes it's very important for you to take that rough path and to walk towards, the tough journey, because nothing comes easy. As much as we want to build solutions and build innovation, I would say when I started after school and I started community work and stuff, people were telling me, what, you're wasting your time. Why even doing this, because I had not even received any recognition, had not traveled even, outside the country. Yeah. But again, that patience virtue that we have as young people whenever you're initiating something is very key, because that's the only thing that will show you, what, there is goodwill at the end of the tunnel. But if you want to go shortcut ways, I will definitely, maybe be lured, take money and forget about it. Exactly. But then if you're driven by virtues, and some of the virtues include your patience and being, motivated in what you do and actually wanting to see the change, then you definitely be following the same path. So there's never a shortcut, and I will never advise any young person to go the shortcut way, because also it's a learning process. As you build your project, as you build your startup or your organization, you're also learning in the same way. You're learning the mistakes you make, and it is part of the journey. But if you want to get to the top quicker, then you won't have a story to tell.
And
I always say,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And like you, there are others who are doing their little bit, and it's like we say, everybody doing a little bit and coming together is then how we start to see this thing. Again, going back to the place where we say that one of the sure ways we can go towards this development is through this innovation, this manufacturing is getting a surplus in what we see. But you're not the only one who's doing this. There are others who are doing this. How then do we showcase? How then do we talk about it? Because in the development circles we say that development begets development. I'm likely to develop when I see that somebody else has done and it is working. Then I'm likely to replicate and get onto it. How do we showcase? What do we do? How do we talk about these issues?
I think there's something that we normally do in Mombasa in October. The reason why we started Pwani Innovation Week was to celebrate such cases. I think even for Gaida 2 years ago when she came for the first Pwani Innovation Week, I think it opened up a lot of doors for her. And then you also get like-minded people. Because now when people hear that there is an innovation, initially it was Nairobi Innovation and the Kenya Innovation Week. So even when you are in the village and you feel that you are unique, you look forward how will I travel all the way to Nairobi?
True.
So for us in Pwani, through Pwani Innovation Week, what we've done, and this time it will be in October, is created that platform for the Swahili coast, not only within the coast, but also looking at Tanga, Zanzibar, Dar es Salaam. So once you come there, you feel I have an idea, you feel I have an innovation, you feel you have something, you come and place it on the table, you come and meet people who will mentor and guide you to make it better, or you'll just come and share with your fellow young people. And at times I even just sit through hackathons. Hackathons where they look at what are the key challenges. Probably Mombasa is a port city. Within the logistics and the blue economy, what are the challenges? So we bring together industry, academia, and the young people. And then we take them through certain problems and solutions. Then we bring also technology companies, and then they create solutions. And some of these solutions are picked by the same young people, and they become businesses. So I think what is important
Sustained.
Yes, sustained, yes. And that is how certain companies have been built. Because already they have industry, there are people who want to use it. The industry has already shared their problems. Others are just wake up. When you look at problems around you, for a good person, he looks at opportunities around. So how do you convert them into building solutions to help your community and also monetize it?
So the event that is happening in October, you're calling it Pwani
Innovation Week.
Pwani Innovation Week.
Yeah.
Talk to the person who is eligible to come. The young person out there who is eligible to come. How do they need to present themselves? What ideas are you looking for?
I think for us, we're at
give us the date as well.
Yes, Pwani Innovation Week will happen between the 27th and 31st of October. And our target is, by the way, it's normally 95% young people, because Kenya is a young country. So when you're talking about Kenya, it's youth by default. So you have whatever solution. It can be an idea. It can be something you're thinking of. You're looking at what is around you. You think you have a solution. The solution might need technology. The solution might need connecting certain dots. I think what Pwani Innovation Week provides for you, you come and connect to the right people. The right people is government, it's private sector, it's people who will put in money, it's people who will support your prototype at no cost, because those are the people that we bring together. For example, you want to build a certain gadget, you have no access to a 3D printer, so there are people who can help you do that. We have the intellectual property people who will come and train you how to protect your IP. You want to even just meet with people like Raida, your colleagues, because we also encourage peer-to-peer, where they share ideas, they share the same innovations, and then they improve it. So I think that is a space. And even for a young person who have never thought of innovation or anything, just come and watch, because exposure exposure is everything. I think one of the biggest problem, and maybe I'll end here, we over expect from our young people. When they wake up in their neighborhoods, they're seeing get rich quick schemes. They're seeing wrong role models. They're seeing the ones that are patient. The way Raida was explaining, only 1 out of 100 will go through. But the ones who are following the shortcuts are the ones where it's like they are enabled to prosper more. So at times I feel we over-expect from them. You cannot train person Japanese and then you expect him to be a Chinese or to be a Swahili person. So I think it is the environment. What role models are we showcasing? Are we instilling values from primary school? Are you instilling values from secondary school? The other time, we were talking about parents buying exams for their kids.
Yes.
So that is primary. And my dad paid for this exam for me to pass. Now we are recruiting people to the police and the army. You pay 200, 300,000. That is the reality. And then you expect these people to be different. They can't be different. So we need to fix from the family unit. We need to fix from the elementary, redefining the values that are important for us as a country. Then once you instill that, then you won't find drops of riders. Instead, there will be a scale. There will be so many. Then we will change the country.
So, Haida, for you, even as you think about, the work that you do right now, and you compare yourself to, you know what Mahmoud said, one individual who will not even attend any kind of, it wouldn't even attend such a place to even think that there's an idea possible. You're busy. You're keeping busy. You get to then have conversations around what will influence now who harnesses or governs these spaces which you operate in today.
Yes.
What would you say? Because this is a youth perspective hour that we have every week. What would you say to that person who's thinking, well, okay, you know what, that's great, but you know what, the 2,000 bob that I can get today makes all the difference. I don't have the agency to wait for 1 year, 2 years.
I think importantly is to be able to believe in the young people, that they can be able to do a lot, and giving them the avenues and the tools and the opportunities for them to be able to do what they want in a very productive way, and also trusting that they can be leaders. Sometimes leadership, I don't look at leadership in just like a political perspective. I look into leadership in terms of what can you do to bring change. So I think if the people who have the right, they have the right to make decisions and to be able to influence such kind of things, it's always important for them to be able to look in the perspective of the young people. And for the young people themselves, it's always good for you to take yourself out there. Let people know what you do. Attend these events, even if you're not being paid for. Just go learn. Sometimes knowledge is wide, and whatever you can get from that person or the person you can connect with during the Pond Innovation Week would be ideal. Maybe someone that would become a partner in your next innovation for next year. And especially for people who find it interesting, sometimes I think when you come and you see people getting award, you see people speaking of their profession, of their experience, of the things they've gone through, it also instills a kind of, I can be like that person. Absolutely. I can try this. So it's always about, being open-minded and being able to accept that it's always okay to go and listen. It's always okay for you to understand that people can be doing development and you can do the same. So it's taking up the avenues that are there and being able to, represent, listen to what people are doing, and also have the urge for you to wanting to do the same. Because I feel like that is what is going to build the more riders, the more other young people who are productive.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you both for being here this morning, because that's why we do this, to then to open up and at least be aware, at the very least, be aware that, this is the direction that folks are going and that many more can go.
Yeah.
Raida Abdallah is the founder of Girl I Save. We already see what you're doing. And Mahmoud Noor, Chief Mentor, Swahili Port Hub Foundation. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Always refreshing. Asante. Good morning.
Thank you.
At 9:01. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.